3, 2, 1, action. My name is Harmony Brown, and I am the Executive Director of Africa New Day, or Un Jour Nouveau, in the United States.
My name is Scott Goeden. I'm a husband, father to 4 lovely kids. I'm an entrepreneur and a business leader in the United States. And I'm pleased to be here as a board member of Africa New Day.
I have been working with Africa New Day for just about 2 years. I run all the operations and all the communications and pretty much anything that has to do in the United States with Africa New Day. Yeah, well, initially, as to my understanding, Africa New Day was created to support and work for UJN here in Goma. And that was because you're doing such incredible work here, and the impact is so great. And initially was an invitation for the United States and the people there to be involved. And that's through giving, and that's through going, and that's through advice and wisdom and support in a lot of different ways, but that's kind of how it has evolved. UJN started first, and then Africa New Day was born out of UJN to support the work and the people and collaborate.
I come here to support the economic development efforts that we have for training the future business leaders on leading and building ethical businesses in the DR Congo. Well, when I was here 5 years ago, we had a small school with, I think, 200 students. Now I think we have 2,000. I've watched our economic development and hub initiatives start in their infancy and grow to where we now have a leadership academy of 50 to 100 people attending classes daily at 7 a.m. to come and learn about how to build businesses ethically in DR Congo. I've seen the organization mature from what was once a small mission to what now is a large corporation with multiple different organizations within. And I'm very optimistic about the future and what the impact that the organization is making.
I would say that I think there's been a little bit more infrastructure put in. It's only been 2 years, but I have definitely seen a change in that way. I've also seen the city just explode with the displaced. Even from 2 years ago, going out to Magunga, which is where our high school property is, there was no tents, there was no displaced, and now there's over 100,000 people in that area. And that has just been surprising and shocking. Even since last year, that population has doubled. And so that's a big change that I've seen.
Well, what's exciting is when I come to Goma, everybody I speak with does not come with a degree of arrogance. Everybody brings a degree of humility. So I don't need to guess at the answer to that question. Everybody is starving for education and wants to learn more about how they can continue to grow. My humble advice is what I've heard from everybody that they say they need. We need more classrooms. We need more infrastructure to enable the organization to continue to spread out its economic development and educational initiatives to more people in the country. We need more teachers. We need more presence in the media. We need more infrastructure like internet, consistent power. There's so many things that every year I come, not only am I impressed that the organization is so well aware of what they need, but they're also very good at prioritizing their needs to make the maximum impact possible. And why I love coming is because what's seen as so little in the United States makes such a large impact here in the DR Congo. And I've seen the thousands of people that we've been able to touch and change their lives, for what's seen as the price of an expensive meal in New York City. So I'm very happy to be here.
So in Goma and through UJN, there's always needs. And I've learned over the years that you come and you see the needs and they seem so huge, so immense that you move into paralysis. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. So then we do nothing. And that is always the problem, because then nothing gets solved. And the only way, right, to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. The only way to solve a huge need and a huge crisis is one life at a time, one person at a time. And so as Africanude, that's what we can do. We can't solve the whole problem. We can't solve the whole problem. We can't change everything today. We can't even change it tomorrow. But there's a life that we can change. And there's one person that we can impact. And that's what matters. You start with the one. You start with the one thing you can do. And so that's what UJN does, right? Africanude, us together, we start educating people, we advocate for people, and we start changing the economy $1 at a time, invested into one business at a time.
2 years ago, when I visited, we had bought a new site north of the city for the future development of the high school. When the conflict between M23 and the locals broke out, there was a massive amount of internally displaced persons that came south into Goma. And what was once an empty field, and at some levels even a waste disposal area, has become a home to over 100,000 people in the northern areas. And what's been my best memory was seeing not only how much has changed in this region in such a little amount of time, but the positivity and the smiles on everybody's face that I interacted with in the camps. The soccer I was able to play with the little kids that were just happy to be out in the field that was supposed to be the home of our school to use as a soccer field. The impact and the positive attitude all of the refugees had about how much Un Jour Nouveau has changed their lives and given them hope and taught them on how they can be a leader in their communities, how they can build businesses and create jobs and focus on the future and not on the past. And it's very humbling, and I sometimes think I'm coming here to help teach the entrepreneurs, but I end up learning so much more personally because we at times forget perspectives and forget how well God has blessed us back home. And to see how happy people are, those smiles will live in my hearts forever.
Everybody in Goma are incredible. So the staff make an impression. The incredible media team, guys, you're awesome. That definitely is it. But I guess there's two that I would say are really some that I don't know, I feel like I've learned from or really impressed on me. And one was a little girl out in the displacement camp. Okay, let's start around. One was a little girl in the displacement camp. So she had fled from her village into the outskirts of Goma. And we did a program to help the education gap and impact these children. And she was young, I think she was 7. And we went out to visit last year when I was here. And she just came up to me and she looked at me and she was like, "Why are you here? What are you doing here? You white lady, what's the deal?" And she was so bold enough to just ask me, which that impressed me too. Because often children in trauma don't have initiative, they don't speak, but she did. And so I was able to get down on her level and share with her, well, we're here because of you. We're here because you're valuable, and we wanted you to know that and to have an opportunity to go back to school and do that. And she said thank you, but I guess when I think about her, I just think that's the reason I do what I do. She's the reason I do what I do. And if it's that one moment that little girl was able to have initiative and just be bold then it's worth it, because hopefully, Lord willing, that will continue for the rest of her life. We have the opportunity with things that have been entrusted to us, our time, our funding, our skill set, our experience. And when we sow that back into other people, not only does it benefit us and the people, but it benefits the world. And so just be faithful and start with the one. Start with what's in your hand. What do you have in your hand? Because you can do something with it and you can make a difference.